Hello everybody, it's Jude the Exceptional Gamer here, bringing you another Fortnite Battle Royale video. Today I wanted to review Chapter 2, Fortnite Chapter 2. Not Season 11, Chapter 2. This is a very big thing that Epic Games have done for Fortnite, so I thought it'd only feel right to cover it on the channel. Chapter 2 is refreshing, and oh boy, is it like playing a new game. Maybe not literally a new game like it's still Fortnite, but it's a very welcome change. So I'm gonna keep it positive to begin with. I'm gonna start with the pros, because for the first time in a long time, in my opinion, I feel like Fortnite is bringing a lot to the table that's actually quite good. Going straight into it, the map isn't clogged with so many locations. If you look at the old map, it's just full of all these big named locations, and they're literally way too close together. They're like right next to each other, as in like a 15-second run, and it's really annoying and it brings a lot of third party in. There was never any just basic flat ground on the map, not enough of it anyway, and like I said, everywhere just was a different location and it was kind of messy. You see, the Fortnite Chapter 2 map brings nice open fields. The mountains aren't stupidly high up, although there is one place like that, but that's only one place out the whole map. The old map just had really huge hills that were unnecessarily big. The amount of materials that were required to go up one of the old mountains, it was just kinda silly sometimes. Another thing I enjoyed about the Chapter 2 map was the nostalgic feel that you got from Season 1 and 2 and even 3 a little bit, where all these locations aren't just crammed together, it's just a bit more open. You don't have to think as hard about where to go because you don't have all of these damn locations. The map was open, but not too open in the sense that there were barely any locations to go to. There were always points of interest that, believe it or not, especially in this map, are interesting. So the new map retains some of that feeling that you got from the old map. Although something that does worry me is how long is the new map gonna be like this for? Is it just gonna get overflown with locations again? I hope not. I don't mind them adding a few locations in here and there where they, should be, but I don't want it to get ridiculous again. Another positive about the map is that Risky Reels, Pleasant Park, Retail Row, and Salty Springs have returned. They are back, and I am so glad they are. Risky Reels, when that got removed, me and the boys always used to drop there, so when it got removed, we were pretty sad. Pleasant Park, Retail Row, and Salty Springs being back, I'm glad about, because they were absolute staples in the old map. And it's nice to have a bit of familiarity, especially when the whole map besides that is new. Something that's really good about this season is the weapon pool has been really cleaned up and isn't just completely clogged and full of useless weapons. A lot of stuff has been vaulted, and we've gone back to just basic things like ARs, snipers, shotguns, etc. And although I have a very strong feeling that Epic Games are just going to add loads and loads of just useless weapons into the weapon pool, I'm just going to enjoy this whilst it lasts. Because honestly, sometimes simple things like this just need to be in the game. Like, it just needs to be toned down a little bit, and that's definitely what they've done here. I open a chest and I get a usable weapon. I don't think, oh my god, I got a thermal AR. Yay. So as a whole about the weapon pool, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Something else that I'm really happy about in this new chapter of Fortnite is that mechs are gone. That's all I have to say for that. And something else I'm enjoying in this chapter more than I thought I would is the fishing mechanics. I think they're pretty cool. It gives you something else to do when you can't really find anyone to pick a fight with, or you've been mining non-stop and you want to do something else, or on the other hand, you've already mined enough materials, then you can shake that goddamn pickaxe at. And if you fish the right spots, you're also rewarded with some good stuff. At first, when I watched watched the trailer for Chapter 2, I got really annoyed at the fishing. I was thinking this is going to be so dumb, but I was pleasantly surprised by it. So Epic Games, that's a thumbs up on the fishing mechanic. So I think I've said everything I need to say about the pros of it, you know, the ones that really stick out to me about this chapter. So I'm gonna move on to the cons. So considering that this is a battle royale game, you need to be making sure that whatever platform you're playing on is achieving the maximum performance at all times. Because all it's gonna take is one frame drop and you can completely lose a fight. And that situation is gonna happen. So if you're playing Fortnite Chapter 2 and it's your first time doing it, be warned, because you will get frame drops. This is an issue on pretty much every platform, and it is the worst I think it's ever been. It doesn't matter what platform you have, how good it is, the game should be optimized to run, you know, at 60 frames at all times on that platform. So even if you are making sure you're getting the max performance, this isn't even your fault. The game is just very choppy. So Epic, before you fix literally anything else wrong with Chapter 2, please fix this one first. I can't even count the amount of fights I've lost and even the amount of games I've lost because of frame drops. It's ridiculous. It's because it's happened that many times, and it is very frustrating. This is something that will frustrate everyone no matter what. So I'm not just speaking for myself here. I think I'm very safely speaking for everyone else. Epic Games, please fix this issue. I praised the weapon pool earlier, and I still think the weapon pool is really good. I mean, except for the addition of the bandage cannon, because, come on, who uses that thing? Whilst I'm still happy with the weapon pool, I think that this leads me on to my next con, which is the tac shotguns are dominant over the pump. So the very few weapons that are in this weapon pool, some of them have been tweaked, and it's kind of weird. I'm on about the shotguns here. The pump shotgun. My most reliable ally in Fortnite, the ally that always had my back and got me the most kills, has been changed. The gun has been nerfed. It's been nerfed so harshly to the point where a tac shotgun pretty much does the same damage as some of the variants of the pump. So get this, a green pump does 80 damage, which is pretty weak for a pump as it is, but for some reason, a green tactical shotgun does 75 damage. So what would be the point in taking the green pump when I could have something that admittedly is 5 points of damage less, but that is not a big difference at all, and I can just fire the thing so fast. The pump doesn't even do that much damage. I'm pretty sure the green pump does 160 to the head. It just doubles it. And get this, a pump has always meant to have been more powerful than attack. That's just the way Epic Games have clearly made these two so they work in contrast. You know, a pump takes longer to shoot, but at the same time it does loads of damage, whereas attack, it fires faster, but it doesn't do as much damage as a pump. But for some reason, the damage of a common tactical shotgun is 71 damage, and a pump, a common pump, it does 70 damage. I know it's only one extra point, but it's still more powerful, and that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So now basically the roles for these shotguns have been flipped on their head, and it's just kind of weird. So this is something, again, that should just be reverted back to how it was, because unless it's a purple or gold pump, they do not feel reliable at all. The next con, which is something a lot of people are complaining about, and I have had the same experience but with a different weapon, is firing blanks. A lot of shotguns are firing blanks. People will be, they'll have their crosshair dead on, they'll fire, but then nothing will happen. There'll be no hit markers, no nothing. And it's literally like firing a blank. No damage will be done even though the shot should have hit. As you can imagine, very rage inducing, much like the frame drops, and really shouldn't be an issue, since Epic Games said that they fix that kind of thing. But apparently not. Now, the experience that happened to me was even more annoying because I saw it happen right in front of my eyes, and it wasn't with a shotgun, it was with a grenade. I threw a grenade, I boxed someone in, the grenade was right next to them, they were stood right next to it, the grenade went off and it did no damage, didn't kill them, or anything. I threw a blank grenade. Now I really wish I saved the clip for that, but I didn't. I don't know why. I wish I did though, unless it is saved somewhere and I forgot I saved it, but as far as I know, I didn't save the clip. But if this has happened, speak up about it, because blank shots are one thing, but a grenade at something that blows up, not even damaging someone that's right next to it. I mean, come on. That kind of thing is just straight up unfair, and I'm all for admitting when I've done something wrong, you know, like human error and stuff, like, oh, I died, you know, this was on me. But no, it made no sense. And this has also been happening to a lot of people. Well, as far as shotguns go, I don't know about grenades, unless I'm really that unlucky, but that's another very game-breaking issue that just really would annoy people. Another issue with Chapter 2 is just the fact that there's this huge map, but there's not enough mobility to get around it easier. The least they could have done is keep jump pads in, or launch pads. And that's at the very least. I wouldn't have even been as upset about it if they at least kept them things in. Just for mobility, I have been getting the speedboats and boosting them on the floor, like on the ground, not in the water, just to get a quick boost across the map. And I know I'm not the only one that's been doing that, so it's kind of a red flag when something is being used in a game that it's not meant to be used for. I mean, not in all cases, but in this case, I think it's an issue. Something else that kind of sucks in Chapter 2 is about the leveling up system. I like what they've done, but it feels way too grindy at times. I'm having to play loads of matches, having to do so many things, and try so damn hard just to level up. I can understand, you know, having to have a bit of a grind, you know, but this just feels a bit too exhausting. I also 100% know I'm not the only one upset about that. That is one of the leading issues that's wrong with Chapter 2. This is such a simple fix as well. All Epic really have to do is just make sure that you don't have to gain as much XP to level up. Just limit the amount you need. That is all they have to do. And last but not least, this is a very recent addition for Halloween, and this is that zombies are back in the game. And Epic, I'm just so surprised they haven't learned this by now. I know they're not going to stay in the game, but I definitely feel like they're going to keep coming back in this chapter, and in my eyes that's something they're doing wrong with Chapter 2. The zombies are so annoying, they're also really buggy as well. They run on the spot and then randomly take damage off of you, and that's not me just lagging either. That happens literally every time I encounter one, which is really frustrating. It's only happened a few times where they've been somewhat normal. Although admittedly I could be the only one that experiences them bugs, but they're still just really annoying. People just don't like the zombies. They interrupt things way too much, and just save that stuff for Save the World. The community just doesn't want anything to do with these. We just want them to not come back. The game would just be so much better without them. And that is all the cons. Oh, well, at least the ones that really stand out to me anyway. And the weird thing is, I have such a love and hate with this right now, you know? I feel like a lot of people are quite 50-50 on this chapter as well. The game's in a good and bad state, and it's so weird because they're so conflicting. I've even noticed that I've got the same amount of pros in this video as I do cons. I've got 6 on each. The thing is, the good doesn't outweigh the bad, but the bad doesn't outweigh the good, so it's a very narrow split. All we can do is just say how we feel. We can just hope that Epic listens to the community, because they need to do that more, and just hope that they implement changes and remove and add things and tweak the game in general to make sure that it's a better experience. But in conclusion, I am enjoying Fortnite Chapter 2. It was a very big change from what we had in chapter 1, I guess. But, you know, there are definitely some setbacks that really need to be fixed, because if these things continue, I'm gonna get really fed up of it. But like I said, there's just a lot of good in it as well. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna leave this video here today. This was a bit of a long one. I hope you enjoyed it though. I really feel like I broke this down a bit more. But if you enjoyed nonetheless, be sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe for more, turn on the notification bell too. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.